Why do we ruin things just as they are starting to go well? Have you ever noticed that just as a relationship becomes stable, you start an argument? Or just as you're about to finish a major goal, you find yourself distracted, procrastinating, or walking away? Most people call this a lack of discipline. They think it's a character flaw. But for the deeply observant, for those who grew up in environments where peace was just the silence before a storm, self-sabotage isn't a failure of will, it is a protective reflex. If you grew up waiting for the other shoe to drop, peace feels suspicious. You sabotage the success so you can be the one in control of the failure. It's safer to break it yourself than to wait for life to break it for you. The familiarity of chaos. For many of us, chaos was our first language. Key concept: the familiarity of chaos. In a household where emotions were unpredictable, you learned that good times were always temporary. You learned to scan the horizon for the next crisis. When life is finally quiet, your nervous system doesn't register safety, it registers danger. It feels like the tension of a rubber band stretched to its limit. Because you don't trust the stillness, you create a fire just so you know where the exits are. You would rather live in the known pain of a self-inflicted crisis than the unknown terror of a looming external disaster. When you break it yourself, you regain the driver's seat. You aren't a victim of fate, you are the architect of your own undoing. And in a strange, painful way, that feels safer. The internal thermostat. There is a psychological ceiling to how much goodness we think we deserve. Key concept: the upper limit problem. Think of your capacity for happiness like a thermostat. We each have an internal setting for how much love, success, and creativity we can handle. When we go above that setting, when things start going too well, our internal alarm goes off. We feel a sense of undeservedness or a fear that we are too high up to survive the fall. To get back to our comfortable level of desaturation and struggle, we sabotage. We pick a fight, we get sick, we miss the deadline. We bring ourselves back down to the temperature we were raised in. The cost of the shield. The tragedy of self-sabotage is that it keeps you in a perpetual state of almost. You are almost happy, you are almost successful, you are almost whole. But the moment the almost becomes is, the watcher inside you panics. You have spent your life observing the ways people let you down and the ways the world breaks, so you have become an expert at preemptive strikes against your own joy. You aren't trying to fail, you are trying to survive the anxiety of succeeding. Learning to breathe in the quiet. So, how do we stop scraping the paint off the canvas? The first step is witnessing the fear. It is noticing the moment things start going well and acknowledging the surge of panic that follows. Instead of acting on the impulse to break the glass, you sit with the tension. Healing is the process of slowly turning up your internal thermostat. It is the practice of tolerating happiness. It is the radical act of allowing things to be easy. It is telling the 7-year-old version of you the other shoe isn't going to drop, and even if it does, we are strong enough to pick it up. We don't have to break it first. You have to learn that peace isn't a trap, it is a destination. You are allowed to live in the house you built. You are allowed to keep the flowers you grew. For a moment, the hand with the palette knife stops. For a moment, you let the colors stay. There is just you here in the stillness. And for the first time, you don't have to ruin it to survive it.